proudest day and the proudest time in the seat of a rally car, because that day and that hour and those minutes, I got the bit between my teeth. You know, I really stood up and was counted and said, this is not getting away. I remember when we pulled on our helmets and Donald says to me, what are we doing? I said, we're going for gold, Barrett. That's all was said. I can still picture that run. That was just the best run ever.
Welcome along to Crunching Gears. Let's talk rallying. Episode, well, it should be 13, but I think that for the true rally fan, we'll call it episode 12B. In this week's episode, we catch up with Josh Moffett, Sam Moffett, Darren Gass at the finish ramp in Monaghan at the weekend. I also caught up with Damien Tourish, with a wee bit of an in-depth conversation with him, Dessie Keenan, Mikie Galvin, and Colin O'Donoghue. So another jam-packed show, and also delighted to welcome along Connor Edwards. Connor, you're very welcome along. Connor is a photographer, for various motorsport publications.
Kevin, lovely to be back again. Sorry I missed last week, but it was a great show, yourself and Adam. I enjoyed listening to it.
Excellent. So this week we're going to review Croatia, Monaghan, and then also first round of the BRC, the Clacton Rally. And also then look forward to the Rally of the Lakes on this weekend. But I suppose WRC, Croatia, horrendous weather conditions. It looked terrible, didn't it, Connor?
It looked absolutely awful. And to hear so many of the Rally 1 drivers complain, or not even complain, but to describe the event and the conditions is tricky. Between the combination of the asphalt that is in Croatia with the constantly changing surfaces, the bumpy roads, and then add on to that the greasy conditions and the mud that was being flung out onto the stages. You know, when you had drivers putting on wets, not because the roads were soaking, but because the roads were covered in mud, said it all really about how difficult that rally was.
Yeah, and then the hard edges on the road as well caused a lot of punctures as well. It seemed to be it seemed to go from tar onto a very hard edge, then onto the grass or the stone or whatever at the side then too. And that obviously caused a lot of trouble as well.
Certainly did. And more so for the wet weather tires, more than the inters or the slicks. Like if you look on day one, Gus Greensmith had 5 punctures. Pierre had 3 punctures.
In 2 stages, not put them out. Yep.
Exactly. You had Evans and Lappy and the Toyota both having double punctures. So really, there's certainly a question mark over the quality of the wet weather tire that Pirelli produced. Again, we're going down to this. Should cars be running with 1 spare wheel or 2? It's a sad state of affairs whenever somebody gets a double puncture and that puts them out for the day too at the same time. Or puts them on the back foot then for the rest of the day and things, So absolutely, and we've seen in the past, particularly Hyundai, they have a tire strategy where they run light with 1 or no spare. So it's a huge gamble in conditions like there was in Croatia to maybe take that risk of being 20 kilos or 40 kilos lighter in the car by not having your spares with you.
Absolutely. And we must talk about performances on the stages. This roving Pyroman, he's starting to fill Loeb's and Ogier's shoes very capably.
Absolutely. Well, look back, not exactly this time last year, but Croatia, the first time it was run, he didn't even get to the end of stage 1. He was off. He was gone. And yet, look at he came here without the experience really of competing on the event. And horrendous conditions, and we saw between torrential downpours of rain as well as the muck and all the rest of it, and still he pretty led, bar a couple of stages where Tanak got ahead. He pretty much led the event from start to finish. It was a master class from him.
It really was, and like the fog they had to cancel one of the stages because of conditions of the fog that's more like Irish conditions nearly than what you expect in the likes of Croatia. And that almost you can't even say, it's not even fair to say he almost threw it away because he didn't. It was the conditions and the tires and everything, leading every stage up to the penultimate stage. but then coming out and putting it all on the line in the power stage, fastest time, Rally won. And like this guy's still only, what is he, 22 years of age? Unbelievable.
Exactly. Yeah, 22. That's his 4th WRC win. And as you say, think of all the pressure sitting on his shoulders on the start line of that final stage. Tanak had just moved ahead of him, and he put everything on the line. A nice, clean run in, tricky conditions, and he beat Tanak by 5.6 seconds.
Yeah.
Stage, it was incredible.
And the two of them were like, I think 6 or 7 seconds quicker than everybody else as well, too.
Yeah.
So like the two of them were on the limit. It's unbelievable. Fantastic to see.
Absolutely. And again, okay, certainly Cali deserves all the credit. But, looking at Hyundai, this seems to be the start of them clawing back, into the championship again.
Yeah, absolutely. Monte Carlo, they were nowhere, so it's fantastic to see them, and we talked about Monte Carlo-like conditions that they have fought back and got the ship right at the game, look of things.
Absolutely. And good to see Tanak back on form again and looking comfortable in the car and enjoying, the rallying despite, the conditions they were in. And Bell, I don't know what didn't go wrong. And he still, pulled out 3rd place, podium finish at the end. And my God, he didn't give up. And when you watch that piece of footage of himself and Martin pushing that car, the time control after, the guts of a kilometre, they were exhausted. Like when you see them lying, particularly Martin was lying on his back on the road, they were knackered. And yet, they dug deep and they give it everything for that event.
And even on the power stage, they're obviously going for points or whatever, almost rolling as well, and still taking that podium finish. Unbelievable, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, it certainly was. It was a rally full of drama, full of action right from the get-go. Stage 1 punctures, Gus Greensmith nearly, having an embarrassing roll, not completely his fault. A mixture of acting and slippy surface, and just it didn't, it didn't disappoint from a spectator point of view.
Absolutely. And our own Craig Breen and Paul Nagel come away with a strong 4th place finish, and that lifts him up to 3rd place in the championship. I think we can't downplay that again. He kept his nose clean, and the pressure was on right from the start with Corbeau going off. So he had to have a clean rally, bring the car home, manufacturer points, all them things weigh heavy on him too, I'm sure. And to keep his head and all, for all around all that madness going on all around him. 4th, still a very strong result. That's
an extremely strong result. And softly catchy monkey, typical Nagel approach. They go in, they get themselves up, get themselves comfortable, they work and chip away at it. They don't put anything on the line. I think he went off where he lost about a minute. And that was due to basically the car was sliding off, and the choice of hitting the curb or avoiding the curb. He avoided the curve and then, went off the road just briefly. But part of that, everything a fairly clean run. And, fair play, Jimmy gave Nagel the credit for keeping him steady through the fog as well.
Absolutely. And Evans 5th. Evans is not having the best of years. We always kind of thought he was going to step up now and fill Ogier's shoes. But it's Roving Perez taking that role on. He seems to be the man that's pushed himself forward.
Absolutely has been. Yeah, I think we all expected that Evans, considering where Evans has done since he got into Toyota, he's been a very performer, and there or thereabouts, with Ogier and leading at certain points during the championship. But yeah, it's Cali seems to be the man who's really come to the fore, and so it's been tough on Evans. He hasn't had the luck on his side. Yeah, and the issue with the punctures, it really destroyed his run for him in Croatia. At one point, what were they in 15th place or something overall? To claw their way back. So,
And then Takamoto and our own Aaron Johnson then a strong 6th, and that leaves them 6th in the championship. Another great run. Keeps racking up the miles. Fairly steady run, no major dramas, no too. Fantastic to see there as well.
It was great to see actually no dramas, and considering again, the tough conditions, because I suppose it's taken a while for that relationship to cement between Aaron and Takamoto. And, as fans and supporting one of our own, we want to make sure and see that it works. And also see that there wasn't any issues there. There was nothing there to, put pressure on that relationship. And it was got a solid result.
Absolutely. And, your heart has to go out to Lappy. clipping that. Like, it looked like an innocent enough clip, like, and bust the wheel in the first stage. But come back and set some competitive times. I think he's going to be a force to be reckoned with, you know, in the events he does. I can see him scoring podiums, you know, a wee bit of luck on his side if he get one as well before the year's out.
Absolutely. Well, look, he came to Croatia with no experience competing on the event. Part-time driver, so he's not getting the mileage under his belt either, or the full testing. So I was unfortunate. You know, he was on day one, but the stage wins and the stage times that he clocked up then after on Saturday were, you know, it was an outstanding drive. Like, he kind of got badly overlooked because the battle at the front was so it's between Rovanperä and Anak, but certainly, Lappi, you know, it's definitely a star of the rally.
Absolutely. And you had mentioned earlier there was, I think, was it 3 or 4 WRC 2 cars in the top 10 as well, you know, so you know, maybe the less power maybe played to their advantage as well. It's hard to know just ins and outs of that.
Yeah, certainly it was a surprise to see the number of what do you call it, 2 cars in the top 10. But yeah, I think a mixture of the conditions and the road surfaces and stuff, just having that little bit less power probably did, you know, help with that.
Yeah, and then, you know, don't forget about our own guys in the JWRC, John Armstrong and Will Crichton. Like, probably not their best events, but still, you know, both of them come away with strong times, you know, points in the bag. You know, come the end of the season, you know, they might be delighted with them points to have them.
Absolutely, yeah. It was tough on the two of them again. You know, William was out on the first day. And John again struggling, had issues. But like at the end of the day, John is, you know, joint leader of the JWRC Championship. So whilst it wasn't his best rally so far, certainly, you know, he's come out of it okay.
Yeah, that, you know, we have to take the positives from it. So, you know, I think we'll wrap that up there in Croatia. Like, also there at the weekend we had Monaghan, and, you know, talk about what kind of Mediterranean weather conditions. I think we've seen them in Monaghan at the weekend. You know. Dry, warm, sun, you know, and the Monaghan Grand Prix, what a recipe. You know, the guys were given all the ingredients, and by God, did they produce a fantastic rally. I caught up with the top 3 at the finish lamp. So let's hear what Josh Moffett, Sam Moffett, and Darren Gass had to say. Josh Moffett, 2022 Monaghan Stages Rally winner. Sounds good again?
Oh, it definitely does. It's been a while for me, so it has. Funny, the last time I won it, I also had Jason McKenna, so that's twice. But this is now the 3rd time me and Jason have won the rally together, and I suppose Jason hasn't sat with me in like nearly 6 years. So
he's your good luck charm.
Yeah, it seems to be. Keith's listening in the background there. He's maybe getting worried too.
And that leaves you in a strong position now in the national championship. 3 starts, 3 wins.
Yeah, definitely, and. Yeah, no, really just enjoyed the day. Now Sam was keeping us on our toes all day, so we just kept the push on. And
like, you enjoy that. Like, it's better. That one means more to you than
just
steering about. Yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing worse going home with. It's somewhat easy when like we had to work hard for it today. So.
And then Killarney next weekend. Just mad to get back out again and onto the.
Yeah, it'd be nice to get a bit of a break, but yeah, no, we'll have to head down there. And, yeah, we'll get a bit of a break maybe after that, but yeah, hopefully Killarney goes well for us as well.
We gave him a good run now. I know his pace was going to be hot, and I knew it wouldn't match him on the first day, but I kind of thought we'd come back at him, but every time I got quicker, he just got quicker too. So no, fair play to him. It was a good race. I think we put on a good show for everything. It was tight going in my eyes anyway.
And like, you know, back into the world car again. Is it good to be back in 4-wheel drive, or would you prefer to jump into the Starlet again?
Look, at driving's driving. You enjoy driving anything you get your hands on. So look, at wring your neck or whatever you can get, and you'll be happy day out. So no, happy to be back in the world car surely. Yeah, we'll see. No real plans to take it out again, or probably going to take the Starlet out next. We'll see what happens.
Just see, take it as it goes.
Take it as it goes. See enough time and see how everything goes. Yeah.
Lovely.
Been off, good day out now, good weather, good stages, and 2 boys in front of me are in different leagues. So.
Yeah, they were corely scorching up the stages.
Oh, aye, but see, when you have four started, someday we might get in their league.
Yeah, but good battle with Robert Barwell.
Aye, yeah, correct now.
Yeah, and that keep your championship. You'll continue on now to the next round. Carlo in now.
Okay, yeah. We might be doing the lone stages, is it? Or?
Oh yeah, yeah. The one up.
Well, we'll see.
Keep the toe in it.
Ah, yeah. We'll stick at it now. We'll start.
That's
no,
great.
Happy enough.
So that was Josh Moffett, Sam Moffett, and Darren Gass. Like as I was saying before, like fascinating battle. Connor, you were keeping tabs on it online.
I was, yeah. What do you call it? I was certainly keeping an eye on it. Just it was great to kind of see the results coming in and follow Twitter and the comments and stuff. And again, just typical Moffett brothers, on the home territory, ran away with it. Like Josh beat Sam by around 12 seconds, and yet the two of them were over a minute ahead of Darren Gass, who's no slow man either. So like they really were on the door handles at times, around Monaghan.
Like it's an amazing, like, two brothers, the way they push each other to the absolute limit, and back at the rump, Sam was getting interviewed, and like, he commented, the fact that was 3-3 now in ones, so they're already stoking up the fire for, well, I don't think the rally runs now in 2023, but 2024. Like, so, the jibing started already.
With the greatest respect to the two of them and to their fellow competitors, I don't think their fellow competitors really,
They don't figure.
I think it's just purely between, it's purely between, Josh and Sam, and everybody else is, not as important, and I mean that in the possible way.
Yeah, and like Darren Gass and Robert Barwell had their own battle there too. Like they were looking for championship points and things too.
Absolutely, there's very little between the two of them, and it was great to get back out again. And you have to say, look, if he had a bit more seat time under him, where would he be in that polo? And it's definitely one of the cars to have at the moment.
Yeah, and like we're saying the polo is the car to have. That's Hyundai, keeps winning. Yeah, what can we say we haven't already said about Josh? Unbelievable, this guy this season he's just on fire. Brilliant to see. Sam stepping back into like 4-wheel drive, again looked comfortable. He thought himself maybe after the first look, if he was somewhere close to Josh, he'd be able to push on. He pushed on, and still, Josh had still all the answers.
Absolutely, yeah.
Brilliant to see. And also, we have to, Monaghan is another one of those modified trophies that they all want to win. And I had the opportunity then to catch up with Damien Tourish and Dessie Keenan. So let's hear from them too now and see what they have to say.
Oh, delighted. Hey, delighted now with it. It went very well. Hey, and I had to go to Monaghan, and I suppose it's been a while since we're out too. And the nerves now, I was nervous enough now heading into it, but no, grand. Hey, got settled in, and I really enjoyed it.
And like Monaghan's like almost second to Donegal. It's the one title you want. That's the one trophy that looks good in the sideboard.
Oh no, it's nice to have it. No, it's nice, especially there are a lot of drivers who come to Donegal, and there's one, I suppose, won the national in Donegal, and it's nice to go up there and race too. But no, definitely.
And does this result then at the weekend give you a good confidence now for the rest of the year?
It's a massive help, I suppose. When you're not doing much rallying and to get a run like that, it helps the confidence, and I suppose it leads on. So definitely does, yeah.
Yeah, and like the dry tar and everything, it's just ideal for getting the setup tweaked as well, as I would say.
Oh, it does for sure. We done a lot of changes in the car, I suppose, and to get that wee chance was good, So no, the car worked really well now, and definitely, I suppose there's a lot of stuff going on there. So between engines and rebuilds, and the car was fabricated, and a lot of stuff going on. So no, definitely is.
Yeah, and like you just mentioned that the fabrication there, like Synergy Motorsport, Rodney Stewart done a great job, and basically like a complete rebuild of the car for you.
That's right. Back maybe the end, I think it was the end of 19, we stripped the car down to a bare shell, and Rodney's took it on there. So I done a great job. It's a real modern car now, hey, and a lot stronger and safer. So no, definitely first class job now.
Excellent. And then the latest engine now from KGP as well. Big difference in the car, the previous engine and the new engine.
Oh, there is. It's a real buzz driving it. Just it raves and raves, and it just keeps going. So you just That's a real going thing, all right. Now.
So I would say you're getting great pleasure out of making it go.
Oh, it was nice. Hey, that's the first time I actually that's the first rally, and we did do a bit of a test with, and you did feel the difference in the test, but it really took the rally to notice it, in between corners and that. There's so much more going it, so no, it's definitely a brilliant engine in YVs now, in fairness.
Yeah, and I know chatting to some of the other boys there yesterday, one thing about, that great friendship between you all, between the stages, the banter's good and the crack's good. But once that clock starts ticking, you take no prisoners. And I would say it's the same for yourself.
Oh, for sure. Now, once the clock goes now, you don't be thinking on much, only as hard as you can go just. But no, it was a good old battle there now yesterday, Dessie, and you Jason Black there, and Richard Moffett there was going very hard. He's a bit of a baller, but a few other boys, but no, hey, it was a great day's crack now, and the weather was good, and as you say, there was good old banter. So no, it was a good day out now, a good day in the office, I suppose.
Yeah, that's for sure. And have you any plans now, or is it just rally by rally?
No, we're planning. Well, I'm going to the May Day rally now. It's on this Monday, so the bank holiday Monday. I'm just going up there for a run, and I think we're doing a wee rally in the north there. It might be the throwing stages, maybe. So.
Okay.
Get that done now, and that'll probably be us sent to Donegal.
And what's the thinking behind Donegal? Go as hard as you can.
As hard as we can for as long as we can, and see how it goes. But I have been Donegal, but I suppose just getting that in between not going over the age and staying on the age at the same time, So no, that's the plan. Looking forward to the year now.
It was very good, very good. Middle loop, I made a bit of a mistake, put the wrong tyre on, and it didn't work out. So the first 3 stages and the last 2 stages with Damien Tourish, it was brilliant, tit for tat, nothing in it.
Yeah, and you're enjoying this being back in the middle of that battle?
Brilliant. That there, I went out and bore, I had to go out and bore on 13s, and I had Bilsteins in, and it just wasn't the thing. We drove well, we had a good enough result, but on Monday night, or Tuesday, sorry, we decided to change. We moved up onto the 15s and put rigor suspension in it. I am just, the car's just a dream, like it's totally different. Like.
And what's that like compared to your previous car? The 39-inch wheels. Is it day and night the difference in the two?
It's well, if I had the 13s on rigor, it mightn't have been that bad. But the fact that I was on Bilsteins and 13s and straight on the 15s on rigor and that, it is day and night. It's like getting out of a Honda Civic and getting into an Audi A6. It's real comfort. It's real. Gives you good confidence. Like it just feels lovely. Like,
So when are you hope to go out next now, or is it just a dream to come here today?
Listen, our plan was to try and be out for Monaghan. That car, I'm building that car 14 years. Like, and there's days I walk into the shed and it's just sick up and at it. And so put the push on there last year, got it painted up and got it finished off, and then got a load of bits there just at Christmas, and then we took at it. So our plan was to come out from on and then end to put on push to want to go to bore. So that put 3 weeks. That was 3 weeks ahead of this, so it put a lot of pressure on me. But we got it out for bore, and we had our issues beforehand too. We weren't going to the very, very, very last minute. It was 2 o'clock Saturday morning before we said we'd go, but glad we went, because with plenty of mistakes and plenty of silly stuff, and even making notes and all that. So
it's all moved on since the last time you were out.
It's all moved on, and Bore was a good fast rally and that. So we were rusty and haven't been out, but now we just said this week now we pushed on and moved up on 15s, and it all worked out well. Like, in fairness,
That was great to hear from Damien Tourish and Dessie Keenan, and it was lovely that you caught up with them at the end of the rally. They had such a close battle, like it really was, and you have to wonder, but for a poor tyre choice, that had been at the finish, like as it was, there was only 9 seconds separated the two of them, so it really was a great battle.
Yeah, like it was a hair's breadth between them up to that, really, So
it was well fought, and it was good to follow as well. Another event that was on last weekend was the first round of the British Rally Championship, the Corbeau seats stages. So that was a closed road event taking place on asphalt. It was about 85 kilometers. So, short enough, not the longest. I mean, the stages were kind of in around 5-6 miles. So there weren't really long stages either. But seemed to go really well, and it was certainly good to see the BRC getting kicked off, and on a proper footing. It's been quite quiet in the build up to it. There hasn't been that much hype on this side of it anyway.
Yeah, and great, from the Irish competitor's point of view, once again, Noel O'Sullivan taking the one there with Ocean Price, Keith Cronin and Mikie Galvin, a fantastic second place. Also, we can't forget then the JB junior British Rally guys, Eamon Kelly and Conor Moffett there. Taking second in that, and only just like 2 or 3 seconds back, and a fantastic 6th overall. Kyle White and Sean Topping in the new 208, and third again. Like I think they're only 4 or 5 behind Eamon, and Johnny Mulholland, another strong result for them, and Kyle McBride and Kenny Bustard. He took the academy one, and I think 6th overall. I'm right in in the junior category as well. Like so. All in all, brilliant weekend for our guys. But
it was very good. And again, that battle between Oisin Price and Keith Cronin, another 2 polos.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We're definitely, we should be sponsored by Volkswagen the amount of times we mentioned polos since the season's kicked off.
Exactly, man. And that was a close one too. Like literally, Keith was on it from the get-go, and 11 out of 14. Oisin Price had been nibbling away and finally got ahead. Of Keith and Mikie. I caught up earlier with Mikie just to get his reflection on the rally and to give us a bit of a rundown on how the event went for him.
The event was actually fantastic. It's the first good run we've had in quite a while. Actually, we took a bit of a sabbatical from we won the championship in 2017. We did half of 2018. And kind of fell apart. So then we've been off really until the start of last year. Last year was great. It was a whole new camp, new tire, new everything. So some of the results were okay, but we'd maybe hope for better on others. But so this weekend was the first proper good result in quite a while actually, and it was fantastic. Yeah.
And you were right in the Polo R5. How are you finding settling into the Polo?
Really, really good. Really, really good. We did the burr stages a couple of weeks ago there, and that went great until we broke a shaft, and that was it. We broke the prop shaft, so that put an end to that quite quickly. But it was going fantastic up to that. Again, we were second, and everything was going great. It was great. We hadn't been on dry tarmac since Ypres in 2018 in the Hyundai. That was the last time we actually drove a car on dry tarmac. Because dry tarmac is different than anything else. It's just the speed is unbelievable in those cars and the commitment. So just trying to find that speed again, and we seem to be getting up to scratch. Yeah, and we carried it on to this weekend and it went great. Yeah, we were just pipped at the end, but we couldn't do a whole lot more about that. So we just settled into second and took that. But we're happy with that result, to be honest.
Yeah, it was very close at the end. I think it was only 5.4 between yourself and Oisin Price.
Yeah, 5.4. So it's one of my best friends in that car, Noel. So it's not bad going when you get to be on the podium spraying champagne with a buddy of yours, that you've been in school with since you were 5 years old. So yeah, even that there is quite a moment there. So it was enjoyable.
Yeah, and the stages, they're asphalt stages, but they're very short, very fast little stages. Do you think if they'd been longer, would that have helped you more with the polo? Or, I mean, obviously Oisin Price was in the polo as well, so it was a fairly evenly matched competition there towards the end of that.
It was, yeah, which was fantastic. But yeah, the longest stage was inside 6 miles, so it was even trying to find that rhythm. Some of the shorter ones, they were down to 2.5 miles, so. You go in and the minute you get a rhythm, you're going through the red boards. Would it have made a difference? Maybe, but it is what it is. We'll have to rattle on and have a go to Jim Clark, which would be something new for me.
That's it. And the Jim Clark's coming up at the end of May. And again, another asphalt round or closed road event. So, how do you fancy your chances there? Longer stages?
Longer stages, bigger rally all round. I suppose the one thing we have going for us is Keith has a lot of experience in that rally. He's actually won that rally before, and he's been on the podium a couple of more times. I have no experience of that rally. I would have only watched that rally on RPM as a kid. But no, looking forward to it. Looking forward to see what it's all about, because it is one of the legendary rallies to Jim Clark.
Yeah, no, hopefully now all goes well for yourself. And then just the BRC, the British Rally Championship in general, is there a preference there for the asphalt rounds over the forestry rounds, or do both of you feel fairly comfortable on either surface?
Well, Keith obviously has won quite a few, so he's comfortable on both surfaces. I was always used to tarmac here at home, but when I went to the UK and on the gravel and stuff, I'd only ever done one gravel event here until I went to the UK in 2016 and did one round that year. It's amazing. I love the gravel. It's so fast, and it's just hard to believe what those cars are capable of when you're constantly moving. It's just unreal. We haven't had so much luck on the gravel in the last year or so, but hopefully this year we have a better shot at it. Hankook are they have developed a new gravel tire, so we'll see what that's about when we get to the first gravel round.
Okay. And then obviously, as we said, Jim Clark is tarmac. Will you be getting a chance to get some practice in before then? Is there any events planned before Jim Clark, or is it until the end of May?
Should be it. Maybe a test, maybe not. But no plans to do any events between here and the Jim Clark. No. It'll probably come quick. It's a month out, but these rallies, they come in hot and heavy. So by the time you know what you're at, you're it's time to get going again. But hopefully a test would be good.
Okay. And speaking of events, a home event coming up this weekend. Lakes, will you be spectating? Will you be on Mall's Gap, or what's the plan?
Yeah, hopefully. Got my phone. It's always, this time of year, this time of this week, you get all the messages in. Oh, are you around for this? Can you do this? Do you know anybody to do this? So I was in work today for the first time in 2.5 weeks, and I was like, oh my God, I just can't be taking any more days off work to be doing any more rallies. But yeah, no, I'm going to try and spectate for sure. Yeah, I always love this weekend. I've only been lucky here a couple of times, really. I haven't had much luck in Clarny as a competitor, but no, I love to go watch it. A couple of buddies and go out there and watch the guys,
Yeah, Mikey, I'm going to put you on the spot. Kevin, myself, and Adam, we always do our predictions for the the events that we're talking about. And just curious, I'm going to put you on the spot here with regard to who do you think would be most likely to come out on top in Killarney this weekend?
So thinking back, it's been the rally's been gone for a couple of years. The one name that stands out as of now that was really quick. The last time it ran was Callum Devine. Was really, really quick. He was really, really quick. After the circuit, it could be a controversial enough question. Those three guys there, Josh, Alistair, and Callum, are going to go really, really well. Dessie had a really, really good run 2 weeks ago as well. I think there's a lot of new people. Cahan's another man getting really, really fast. He's getting really, really fast. So yeah, I think there's 6 or 7 guys there that could really, really go well. Yeah. It's great now that the cars are so even, and there's guys really, really coming up the pace, really strong. So it's a hard call. If I was to say one name, I'm going to put it on Callum, maybe.
Yeah, he certainly seemed to take to the polo very quickly in the circuit. So yes, could be very interesting to watch.
Polo seems to be the machine at the moment. Yeah,
I enjoyed catching up with Mikey. He's always great to chat to, and not only just to find out how himself and Keith get on, but also to get his thoughts on the upcoming Rally of the Lakes. And Kevin, you also caught up with Colin O'Donoghue, and the first question you asked him was he feeling comfortable heading into Killarney?
Yeah, I suppose it was a strange period with COVID and stuff, so we decided last minute we'd probably go to Belgium as something different. I suppose it was the first really rally on the calendar that was available to us. It was a strong Irish field that went out, so it was interesting event, it was nice to do something abroad and stuff, so look, European event, you know, it was an escort challenge and stuff, you know, so it was narrowed, the field was narrowed down a small bit, like, you know. But yeah, it was definitely a challenge, as in what I suppose car was getting rebuilt at the time. Then we went it was a race to get on the boat, you know, we had a test. We missed the shakedowns over in Belgium because of getting late on the boat, you know. But then we went. It was our first time writing notes over there and stuff, you know. So I carried that on through the last couple of events as well. So we're trying to get to grips with that a small bit more, you know.
Yes.
All in all, it was a good event. Worked out in our favour, thank God. Then we struck on for Benna in the escort again, and his starts. Unfortunately, we had a clutch issues on both. Look, we're leading the event, the two-wheel drives, you know, but we didn't make it to the finish. Kevin pipped us in the last stage. Look, we knew the speed was there going into Clarny.
Yes.
But, it was unfortunate. It would have been nice when you get under the belt. My father won in 2007, so there was the kind of he won it outright in 2007. But look, these things happen, you know. That's right.
Yes, that's the joys of it.
Yeah. Look, like, I was speaking to Kevin after the event. He was like, times were there. We were nip and tuck all day. Unfortunately, Rob pulled out. But there was a good battle up until the middle loop at least, and just didn't work out in our favour. And I suppose, look, that's the way it goes, really, you know.
Yeah, that's for sure. That's for sure. And you've a change in machinery now this weekend.
Yeah, it was kind of lastminute.com again as usual. So we're decided to go on the BMW now as the escort is hired out. JDK has the escort hired out this weekend. That'll be a priority, you know. So we were kind of left on the sideline, and I spoke to Dad about it, and he wasn't really too pushed on it, and he was looking for a co-driver, and we said, if we want to go away, we can go away. But it kind of suits me in the long run, Kevin. Like, we're planning on building my own car now at the end of the year, you know. So that car's running 18-inch wheels, so I kind of wanted to see what way that would work if I wanted to go down that route for the escort. So it'll kind of fill that gap if I want to go down that route, you know.
Yeah.
It'll be different, yeah.
And you know, it's always good to see something different out on the stages as well. You know, so there's that side of it. It's always nice to see as well.
Yeah, but like a lot of people have said it to me before. It sounds different compared to your Vauxhalls and your Millingtons and stuff, you know. So that brings as well, you know. So.
That's for sure. And then, you know, looking forward to Clarny, then, you know, they've changed the route round on Saturday. It's not just the normal stages. That, you know, that probably evens out the playing field for everybody. You know, it doesn't favour the ones that's done the rally, you know, 7, 8 times, or, you know, the guy going there to do it the first time. So that's a positive for everybody.
Yeah, I suppose. Like we did a day's recce there on Sunday. They are different from they have been ran before, but in different variations. But they're real driver stages, you know. So it would be definitely a level playing field. It's a nice bit of a change than going into models straight away on Saturday. Although every time you're thinking about gearing up for the event, you think you're heading for models, but it kind of messes with your brain a small bit. But look, yeah, it's nice. Change it up a bit. I spoke with Darren, the COC, and he said it was one of the main factors of the event, you know. So looking forward to know. Again, Kilcummin's first, a variation of it. Bernard and Gurton again for them 3 done twice, you know. So it's interesting, you know.
Yes, and then, you know, the classics then on Sunday, you have Mulls, Ardbroom and all on Sunday. You know, that's a whole other rally again then, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it's Miles Gap, Block Beam, done twice, I think, and then you've Carl Lake and Shannon then.
Right.
So I suppose the pick out of them for myself would be Gurton again on Saturday evening, and Shannon then would be my two favourite stages, you know.
Yes.
But I'd be looking. Hopefully, we'll get a crack in it, and it'll be dry anyway. That's the main thing.
Yes, that's what. And you know, hopefully the weather forecast is looking good for the weekend. So, like, you know, dry, hot tar, you know, and then cars, it's going to be some spectacle.
Yeah, well, I suppose. Look, you're fighting against the best of the best. You've Rob and Kevin, James Stafford, Gary. So there's a serious line up there, you know. So, there will be nip and tuck from the word go.
Yes.
With a couple of digs thrown into the start line, so you have to have a bit of a banter.
Yes. And are you looking forward to that? You know, you know, you've missed it out all year. I'm sure you've been watching it online and one thing and another, but I would say you're just itching to get involved in it all.
Yeah, it's nice to be back in the groove again. I suppose it's hard to miss the home event, you know. But yeah, I was down in West Cork and I was literally pulling my hair out, watching the boys, you know. I spoke to a lot of the boys after the event, and I kind of got the urge again to go, you know. So we planned to go to Monaghan, and it didn't work out. We didn't even bother putting in an entry, you know, just to get a refresh for this weekend, you know. But one thing led to another, and we said we'd just concentrate on Clarny, you know.
Good enough, good enough. And, you know, being a local man, does that bring added pressures in on Saturday morning?
Yeah, I suppose, like, you like trying to be top local driver if possible. Then it's the side of it, trying to get a good result and most exposure for the sponsors, you know. So yeah, look, we're trying to do our best as usual. We'll fight from the word go. If we're not first or last, you know, that kind of way.
Yes. Yeah.
And then we try to take that approach for every event, you know. So
perfect. And then, you know, Clarny, is it get Clarny over and done with, or is there any plans then for the rest of the year?
Yeah, well, I hope to go back to Belgium again. It's kind of we kind of agreed to just have a bit of an off year this year because of trying to do a couple of priorities and stuff, and we'll try and get that car built for next year. But I'm in no major panic, you know, really, Kevin. Donegal was in the head at the start of the year, but it's just there's a lot on with work commitments and at home, and you know, I might as well just concentrate in the car and have a fresh start next year. Hopefully, all going well.
So next round of the Tarmac Championship, Clarny this weekend. You know, you can, you know, the two guys there, locals, you can just, you know, the anticipation's building, and with all the top runners and riders there once again, it's going to be another fascinating battle.
Kevin, setting up to be another classic. It genuinely is. Like, it's a great entry list. You know, the usual stages we all know, and, you know, coming off the back of the circuit, you know, Josh Allister, Divine as well, you know, there's a hell of a battle to be had there.
Absolutely. You know, and it's great to see, you know, we keep harping on about this, but like the Irish Rally is in such a good place at the moment. You know, if this good weather keeps up, it's, you know, warm, dry tar, those classic stages. Once again, it's got all the ingredients just to be a classic.
It does, definitely does. And, you know, not just at the top of the field either, you know, I think there's little battles there all, you know, throughout the entry. What do you call it? Both, you know, between the R5s as well as the modifieds as well. I think, you know, there's a lot. It's going to be very hard to when we get to the point of doing predictions. It never is easy, but I think for this one, it's definitely going to be trickier.
Yeah, that's for sure. You know, you mentioned there the modifies. You know, we have the Rally 4, Rally, you know, R2 guys now. There's quite a few of them, even down to all the classes there. You know, there's going to be some epic battles. You know, I can't wait to watch it all online. You know, watching and getting the results as they come in. It's going to be bloody brilliant. Just watching anticipation now for Saturday morning, and then Sunday morning, like 7:30 Sunday morning, up the gap. Oh my goodness, what a wake-up call.
Absolutely, yeah. Listen, I would say there won't be much sleep had the night before by the competitors because I would say the nerves will be there, as who's going to be the start of the blocks on Sunday morning.
Yeah, never mind them. I'll hardly sleep either waiting. So we've got this great reputation for our great predictions. We should look back last week, I suppose, at them first of all. You have them there, Connor, have you?
I do indeed.
See how embarrassing we got on.
Exactly. So, right, for WRC Croatia, Adam had predicted a win by Craig Breen, with Elvin Evans in second and Thierry Neuville third. So he got 1 out of 3 with Neuville. Kevin, you had opted for Breen as well to win. Callie Grundle in second and Callie Rovanpera. There you go, showing my age. Showing my age. Callie Rovanpera and Thierry Neuville in third. So again, you're not out of 3 there.
Yes.
And again, I've gone for Rovanpera for the win. Hooray. Breen second and Evans third, so completely wrong on
the other 2. Yeah, but you got the winner. Yes. And then for Monaghan, what was our thoughts on that?
For Monaghan, Adam had gone for Josh, Sam, and Robert Barable. Close.
Yep, close, yep.
Kevin, you'd gone for Josh, Sam, and
the boy, I think it was.
Yeah. And then I'd picked Sam, Josh, and Darren Gass.
Yes, close.
We're inching closer. I don't think we've got any of them on the nose.
Yeah. One of these days.
Exactly.
So ahead of this weekend, Adam was unable to join us this week, so he's thinking Fisher, Devine, and Moffett, and he's predicting then in the modified. Then he's going Duggan. What's your thinking on it then?
My thinking. Let me just call up the entry list to have a quick. To be honest, you know what? I'm of the opinion Divine's time has to come. Second run out in the polo. Hopefully, all the little issues are ironed out. I think he's going to be on it from the get-go as he usually is. So to me, I'm going to go for Divine. Second, hard to put past Josh Moffett, and Fisher then in third. That would be my take. With regard to the modifieds, the rear-wheel drives, I don't know. I'm going to go throw some money on James Stafford. Maybe, I think I'll go for James Stafford for this in the Darien.
Right, okay. And then my thinking is on it is Divine. I kind of have the same opinion you. Like, he was magical the last time, 2019, up the gap, beat Craig Breen. So, I do think Divine, with a good one behind him, should be hard to beat. I'm going to go that Fisher Moffett battle resuming again. I think Josh is going to have a wee bit of fire in his belly, and put him in second, Alistair third, I think. And then in the modified, I'm going to follow you, Stafford. I think the Darien's going to be right at home in them stages. I think,
especially if the conditions are good as well. The weather is fair.
Dry tar and all. The Darien's going to be hard to live with. Don't get me wrong, it'd be fantastic to see the likes of Rob Duggan or Colin O'Donoghue or some of the Kevin Eves, some of them old guys give him a good fight. But I just think the Darien's just going to have that wee extra age. So anyway, I suppose tune in next week to see how badly we done once again.
To see whose rally we've jinxed.
We've put the Vicks on this week. So please like, share, subscribe, all those things, or just leave us a review, whatever. We all gratefully appreciate it. Until the next time, take care, speak soon, and bye.
Oh,